Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching Startup Central right here on ET Now. If it's anything to do with startups, technology, and the new economy, well, then this is the show that you should be watching weekdays at 6 p.m. to keep a track of all the developments in this space, the tech and the startup space. In fact, we also bring daily conversations with head honchos of startups and, of course, those who matter within the ecosystem. So do make sure that you catch up on our shows every evening at 6 p.m. We have a whole host of conversations, stories, very interesting ones also lined up on the show. But before we go on to all of those stories and, of course, conversations, let's quickly take a look at the headlines we're tracking right here on Startup Central. All right, ladies and gentlemen, those are the headlines. And now let's move on to putting the spotlight on one of India's most famous health and nutrition influencer, Revant Himatsingka, aka Foodpharmer. In fact, he's now donned the entrepreneur's hat. Revant has recently launched Only What's Needed. That's his new clean label foods brand. His first product launch is going to be a whey protein, which is a soft launch. That's being planned for June, and that's followed by a full launch in July. Let's talk more about his plans ahead and what's in store as far as entrepreneurial journey is concerned. How is this label going to be different from the ones that we see in the market today? Let's bring in Revant Himatsingka on the show. Thank you very much, Revant, for joining us here on ET Now.
Thank you so much for having me. Means a lot.
Right, Revant, so you've transitioned from a career in finance, consulting, and now becoming a health and nutrition influencer. You've grilled companies on the basis of their nutrition content, and now you've announced the launch of your new company. Tell us more about the company and which gaps is it exactly filling? Which segments are you looking at foraying into and catering into with respect to this food brand that you've launched?
Yeah, so it's called Only What's Needed, and the abbreviation is OWN. And the idea is that most companies put unnecessary ingredients, which are often harmful for us, but we are going to put only what's needed. And it's the first company or movement, I would rather like to call it, which is co-created with the public. So every single thing is done on basis of votes. So first of all, even whether or not I should start this food company was done by votes. There were 3-4 options given to my followers, and then they picked this one. On Instagram stories, we are running voting systems, and then they voted for this. They chose that I should start with protein. Not only protein, they voted that I should start with whey protein. In fact, the name of the company was going to be Take Charge. That's the name I liked, Taking Charge. But I put up an Instagram story that, do you like the name or not? They did not like it. And then they suggested for the name Only What's Needed. And then we kept this name. So basically, this is the first company which is going to be fully co-created with the public. We're going to put the ingredients based on the public votes. And a lot of other things we are deciding with the public in the forefront.
Right, so you're co-creating this brand with public, with the consumer's interest in mind, which is why you are bringing in, the consumer as well into the co-creation, journey. But Revant, tell us about the categories that you will be delving into, that you will be exploring, given the fact that now we understand that you have a whey protein for which a soft launch is being planned in June. Are there more plans of launching more products, more categories in the near future? Tell us what you have in mind.
So I'll tell you one thing that we are trying to keep it based on what the public wants. Once again, I'm going to be putting up polls that, what category do you want me to enter next? So we're going to focus a lot with what the public will vote for. However, most likely there's already a lot of demand for plant protein. So when I did whey protein, a lot of people were angry and were like, okay, why not plant protein? So we may do plant protein soon as well. After that, it'll really depend. I am personally keen on milk mix, but like children's drinks. But it really depends on what the public wants us and what direction it takes. I also want to do something in the protein space for adults, like a lower protein thing, because not everyone, like when you talk to someone who's in the 50s and 60s and 70s, sometimes a 24-gram scoops is sometimes too heavy for them. So maybe a lighter version for people who are like, a bit older. These are some categories which I am keen on. I'm also keen on any category which people consume a lot of. For example, a biscuit, um, or like a ketchup. And I'm wondering, can I make a healthier version of a biscuit or a ketchup and things like that? So just want to try to focus on these categories. But starting off will be whey protein and hopefully then plant protein.
Right, so whey protein, plant protein, and you're hopeful that you will be getting into very many other categories, and especially those that you have, protested against, particularly with respect to some of these powders and other foods. So here's wishing you all the very best, Hemant. But given the fact that the market at present is filled with organic products and, organic packaged foods, of course, how are you looking at pricing the offering, and where will the first leg of launch be? Where else are you looking at expanding this to? Will this be offline, online, or omni-channel? Give us some more details about that.
Sure. In terms of pricing, one thing is that we'll be putting clean ingredients like we want to use, for example, real cocoa, not cocoa flavor, which is what most companies just use a flavor of chocolate, but it's not really chocolate. So we want to use real cocoa. So these things are sometimes in the raw material costs are a bit expensive. However, I want to still try my best that for the quality of ingredients that we'll provide to still try to provide make it a bit reasonable. And I have a bit of an advantage that I already have a decent followership. So hopefully I can reduce some of the CAC involved, like customer acquisition cost, what they call. So hopefully with that, we can offer the product at a more reasonable price to the end user and make protein affordable, because a lot of people find protein unaffordable currently. So hopefully we can make protein more affordable. Um, Secondly, you asked where will we sell it? It will begin with the website itself, like our own website. We want to make it a bit small in the beginning. We want to make sure everything is going well. Once it goes well, then we're going to see whether or not we should do quick commerce or not, or where we should do next. But starting off, it will be available only on the website.
All right. So you're hinting, you do have plans of venturing into the quick commerce platform if there is a need and, of course, a requirement. But Hemant, with this launch, you also have announced a certification as well that is Foodpharmer approved. Is this an initiative that's going to remain only for packaged foods, and what's behind the reason for this launch?
So it's going to take a bit of time, yes. So it's not. The idea is that I always in my videos, usually if I criticize a product, I also give 2, 3 alternatives in the end. And people want like a simple website where all alternatives are mentioned in one place, rather than, have to watch 20 videos and watch till the end of the video to find the alternative. So the idea is just a simple website where you just get alternatives in every category. So you can search by category, whether it's ghee or milk or chips or biscuit, that these are the 3, 4 products which have clean ingredients and they'll be Foodpharmer approved. And there can be a logo as well, potentially like a certification logo, which people can optionally put in their package. Um, And it does not necessarily have to be food, although I'm known for food and my name is Foodpharmer, it's essentially. But people want to know clean products in what is the clean shampoo, what's a clean toothpaste, what's a clean deodorant. Like, I've got requests for so many different categories. So the idea is, can I work with experts? Like, I'm not an expert in every industry, but can I work with experts to formulate the 3 to 4 to 5 best products in each category so that it really helps the people make this decision much easier? And it potentially can become like a certification that they can use my name or logo in their package somewhere that Foodpharmer approved, just the way people use organic or made safe or cruelty free and things like that.
But how does that work, given the fact that it is FSSAI that really allows, that actually marks products, whether they can be used, whether they're good to use or not good to use?
FSSAI is just a safety platform. They're not a health platform. So when FSSAI certifies something, they're not saying it's healthy for you. They are saying it's safe to consume. That if you consume it, you're not going to die, or you're not going to get ill immediately. What I am thinking of is something which is a health platform. So not only will the products which are listed will be safe, but they'll also be healthy. And that is someone with, like, I will, for example, never certify a soft drink. But FSSAI will certify a soft drink because they're not claiming that the soft drink is healthy. They're just saying it's safe to consume. So that's the distinction between FSSAI and Foodpharmer approved.
Right. So that's a very interesting concept that you've launched, that you are going to be mentioning whether a product is healthy to consume or not healthy to consume. And that really aims at educating the consumers, the masses, about, various health products that are currently available. But one final question, Revant, what are your growth expectations with respect to the brand that you have launched, the own brand that you have launched? Are there any, tentative growth targets that you have, at least for the next 6 months, over a year or so?
Be very honest, there are no targets per se like that. I just hope that people who've been following me for quite some time and they like and share my posts and they they follow me very closely. I just hope they give it a try, and if they like the product, hopefully they'll purchase it again. But there's no specific target. So hopefully, again, whoever's following me, hopefully they just try out my product once, and if they try it once, I'm quite confident they'll try it again.
All right, Revant, on that note, thank you very much for taking the time out and speaking to us right here on ET Now. All the very best to you with this certification and, of course, the food brand that you are launching. All the very best, and we do hope to speak with you soon.
Thank you so much.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, time now for us to slip into a quick break, but lots more coming up on the other side.